What happens when Samsung's most powerful phone starts looking a little too much like an iPhone? The Galaxy S26 Ultra is stepping into that space right now, and honestly, the changes are going to surprise you. Some people are going to love it, and some are going to shake their heads. Stick around until the end of this video, because the full story behind the Ultra is not what it seems. And by the time we're done, you'll know whether this phone is a step forward or a step sideways, so let's get into it. Last year, the Galaxy S25 Ultra softened those sharp, boxy edges that made it feel so distinct. For years, those corners gave the Ultra a unique look, instantly recognizable. And then suddenly, it went softer, smoother, more rounded. That move alone split the fan base right down the middle. Some said it felt easier in the hand, others said it lost its personality. And now, with the S26 Ultra, Samsung is pushing even further into curves. Hold it at the right angle and you might think you're looking at an iPhone 17 instead of Samsung S crown jewel. But before we talk about how that makes fans feel, let's address one detail a lot of people worried about: the S Pen. When Samsung removed the Bluetooth features from the S25 Ultra, it felt like the beginning of the end. Would Samsung eventually kill off the S Pen completely? Thankfully, the answer is no. The S Pen is still here, and it's even getting a little makeover. Instead of the hard, flat look we're used to, it now follows the phone's new rounder design. The part that sticks out when it is tucked away inside the phone curves gently to match the Ultra S body. It's subtle, but it ties everything together. And it has a quiet reassurance that the Note S DNA is still alive inside the Ultra series. Now, let's talk about the one thing nobody can ignore: that camera bump. It's massive, it's chunky, and depending on how you look at it, it either screams power or screams outdated. For me, it feels like Samsung hasn't figured out how to make it blend naturally with the rest of the phone's sleek design. The smoother edges make the camera bump stand out even more, like a giant piece of hardware glued onto a futuristic device. And it makes you wonder, is Samsung leaning too hard into function at the cost of form? Or is this just their way of saying, look, our cameras are so powerful they need all this space? Speaking of power, let's not pretend this phone is just about looks. Under the hood, the S26 Ultra is a monster. Ulines either get the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 or Samsung's own Exynos chip depending on where you live. We're also finally getting a real camera upgrade this time, not just minor tweaks. And of course, the same reliable 5000 mAh battery that Ultra owners swear by. Day-to-day performance, gaming, multitasking, photography, this phone is built to handle anything you throw at it. Specs-wise, the Ultra is still the king of the Android world. That's why this design debate stings a little more, because everything inside is so good, but on the outside it's starting to feel less special. And here's where it gets interesting. The S26 Ultra isn't the only game in town. Samsung's lineup gives you options. The standard S26 and the S26 Edge come in slimmer, sleeker bodies that honestly feel more modern. If I had to pick one just for looks, I'd lean toward the Edge without hesitation. And then you've got Samsung's foldables, which continue to pull attention with their futuristic form factors. In a world where slabs are starting to blur together, the foldables remind you what true innovation looks like. So here's my honest take. When the S25 Ultra came out, I wasn't thrilled about the loss of those sharp corners, but I could accept it. It still looked sleek, still carried that Ultra vibe. The S26 Ultra though, it feels like it's drifting away from Samsung's identity. The curves are fine, but combined with that oversized camera bump, the design feels less refined, almost forced. And yet, the performance keeps me hooked. Because no matter how you feel about the outside, the inside is where Samsung makes sure you're getting the very best. The real question is, what matters more to you? Do you care about the way the phone feels in your hand, how it looks on a table, the visual identity of the device you carry every day? Or do you care more about raw performance, camera power, and the reassurance that nothing else can match this hardware? That's the trade-off with the S26 Ultra, so now I want to hear from you. Do the new curves feel fresh, or do they make the Ultra lose the bold identity it once had? Does Samsung risk blending into Apple's design lane, or is this simply the natural evolution of a flagship phone? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is where the conversation gets interesting, and I'll be reading through all of them. And if you made it all the way here, thank you! I've got another video coming soon on whether Samsung S Foldables are actually the smarter buy for 2025, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss that one.